Sanam, the US is saying, work with Iran, you can't work with us, and the EU is asking on companies to do exactly the opposite. How do you think it might all play out?
These first round of sanctions that have been imposed on Iran have been dubbed the most, quote, biting, draconian of their kind. And a lot of observers are saying that whilst no actual bombs are being dropped on the country, the impact that these punitive measures will have on the population can be comparable to that of war. Now, according to the US Treasury, the initial phase will impact everything from the currency, gold, precious metals to the car-making industry. A second phase is actually going to be unimaginably effective because it will choke Iran's oil sector, which is its main export. So prior to today, the administration of Donald Trump had warned and had given 90 days to these foreign firms to pull out of Iran, to stop, to winding down business with them. And many don't want to be on the wrong side of the United States because they fear that there could be other punitive measures for them, that they will be penalized. And this has happened before. There's precedents of this. The French bank BNP Paribas had to pay up some $9 billion for trying to overstep these sanctions and working with the Iranians. So despite the fact that the EU is very much scrambling to put the deal, to keep it together, to prevent it from unveiling, by actually trying to search for new ways of funding trade with the Iranians, it looks like they can't force these foreign companies to stay within the country. So previously we saw the likes of Peugeot, Total, even Boeing pull out. And of course we heard from Donald Trump today this very dramatic statement saying anyone doing business with Iran won't be able to deal with the US. So reactions are very quick to pour in. We had one German car maker, Daimler, actually say we won't be expanding our business to Iran. All of this said, I spoke to one source who is very close to the Iranian administration earlier today, who said to me, despite everything that's happened, we want to stick with the JCPOA, with the Iran deal. But if that fails, we feel that we have a very strong ally in China, and they're very much interested in importing our oil. So let's keep an eye on that.
Indeed, because of course that wider nuclear deal is a big question, but also the economy. When it was first signed, there was hope in Iran that that would herald an economic boom. It never really had a chance to take off. And now it looks like things are going to get worse than ever.
There's no hope. These economic hardships are very much manifested in both protests and strikes across the country, albeit sporadic ones, concerning inflation, price hikes, corruption within the system itself, and everything from social to political freedoms or lack thereof. Now, out of these issues that I mentioned, it's the crumbling economy that's really impacting ordinary Iranians. Iran's currency has lost some half of its value since Trump announced that he'd be withdrawing from the deal. People's savings are dwindling. Shopkeepers aren't able to sell some of their products because they don't know what their values are. In turn, people can't buy basic goods like rice and bread and meat and put it on their table because they're too expensive. There's no real access to medication. Some people are even thirsty because of water shortages. And frankly, Iranians, what they needed from their leadership was some kind of acknowledgement and reassurance that this is happening. But President Rouhani came out on Monday and said, this is just psychological warfare. That's what these sanctions are. So I spoke to one driver today who said to me, frankly, they hold the Iranian government as accountable as they do the US administration. He said that, look, this is polarizing the country. And frankly, even my 12 years of covering Iran, I have never been as worried as I am right now for that population.
Indeed.